Oh my god, what an epic chapter that was, right? The way that Oda executed this chapter, although it had some annoying moments, which involved Flambe mainly, which for those who don't know, she's Katakuri's sister, which I will get to that later mind you. But anyway, Oda did a great job this chapter. Previously, the fight between Katakuri and Luffy wasn't that great, if I'm being honest. Mostly because in previous chapters the fight, it just wasn't the focus on the corresponding chapters. And having a chapter fully dedicated to the fight, it makes it way better, so props for Oda for giving us a full chapter of this caliber. So the chapter basically starts off by showing us that Flambe is basically restraining Luffy with her powers. And it seems that Katakuri notices this, but isn't until later on in the chapter when Flambe confirms this, that Katakuri reacts. And boy does he react. After this chapter, I truly believe that Katakuri is one of the best villains in One Piece period. I mean, his character is hard to hate really. He is a badass and he fully respects Luffy and the man-to-man fight. In my perspective, he isn't per se a bad/evil kind of guy. I guess we are unlucky to have Katakuri facing off against Luffy, since he is kind of forced in his position. What I mean is, he doesn't really have much of a choice in fighting him. But it would really be epic if maybe someday we will see Luffy teaming up with Katakuri. After this chapter, I can definitely see something of this caliber happening, cause I mean Luffy and Katakuri are a compatible duo in terms of fighting the way I see them, and can make a pretty epic and formidable team. But moving on with the chapter, we have Ultra Instinct Luffy. That's right, Ultra Instinct. So Luffy has a flashback from way back when he was training with Rayleigh, and he tells him to move in an unconscious way, which is kinda similar to the concept of Ultra Instinct in Dragon Ball Super. If you're unfamiliar with Dragon Ball Super, it's basically a new form that Goku has in the latest arc of Dragon Ball Super, which is the Tournament of Power arc. Just type in Ultra Instinct Goku and you'll find it in Google, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Then Luffy starts to unconsciously dodge Katakuri's attacks for just a brief moment, and then he falls to the ground. And this is where Katakuri finally realizes that Flambe has been interfering in their manly fight. So he starts walking towards her, and she's all like fangirling and stuff, which honestly is quite annoying. Her character is quite annoying. Like, for me, she's just an annoying character. There's nothing to her really. Just a fangirl, that's what she is. And then Katakuri stabs himself, just to prove a point to her that like, you cannot interrupt him, dude. He then shouts at Flambe about how he doesn't need her cheap backup in the fight. Flambe calls him an eel because of the way his mouth is shaped, and his past flashes before him, getting us a snippet of his past, which is kind of interesting honestly. Having backstories about villains. I mean, you can't call Katakuri a villain per se, he's like an anti-hero at this point. But yeah, in the last part of the chapter, Luffy and Katakuri face off with Conqueror's Haki, making Flambe and Co unconscious in the process, and Katakuri fully respecting Luffy by thinking him as his equal. So yeah, the fight is entering its final stage now, even the arc, it's in its final stage. There's probably less than 15 or so chapters left of this arc at this point, which is great in my opinion. I think it's getting time to move on to the next arc, which will be the Reverie arc. There's going to be, I think, a different arc, but it will be epic. There's no reason why it shouldn't be epic. But yeah, I think it will be a bit different than normal arcs, but we'll just have to wait and see for that one. So yeah, it's wrapping up now, and hopefully we'll get to see an end to this fight by the next chapter or two. Hopefully. Okay, with that being said, if you want weekly One Piece reviews, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications. It's been Nightmare King, thanks for watching, I will see you on the next one.